Athletes. Coach, the podium is yours, then we will open it up.
Well, thanks. It's great to be here. We are, on behalf of the Stanford football team, along with our players, we're excited to be here to kick off the 2025 season here at this ACC kickoff in Charlotte. We're extremely proud to represent Stanford University, the excellent tradition both academically and athletically. Proud to have been playing football at Stanford for about 130 years. A lot of great history of winning tradition of coaches, players, some 282 players being drafted into the NFL. But now we're here for the 2025 season and really looking forward to that. We really believe coming into this 2025 season that under new GM Andrew Luck, that the Stanford football program is about to enter a new era of football, and that and you're going to see a new brand of football under his vision and leadership, and I'm really excited to be a part of that for the unique opportunity that I have to be the interim head coach for the 2025 season. And I think after having been there for 3 months, the reason that I'm most excited, besides working with Andrew, is getting to know guys like these four guys sitting right up here, and along with many of their other teammates, especially the kind of more veteran, older guys who are really going to be the foundation to turn this program around as we enter this new era. We could not be more excited for the year ahead. I mean, it's a unique year. We got a lot of change. It's a change with me coming in as an interim head coach, 17 transfers, more than ever in Stanford history. But it really all starts with player leadership, you know, with Sam Roush, Colin Wright, Teva Tafidi, and Simi Pale as well. These guys are true leaders along, like I said, with the other guys. And we're excited to compete here in the ACC. We look forward to competing against many worthy opponents this 2025 season in our quest to be ACC champions this year. So I'll open it up to questions from there.
Coach, your first question will be front row directly to your left.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Coach, like you said, being the interim coach for this season and working with Andrew Luck, for you, what are the foundational pillars for a successful program that you're going to live by throughout the season? And why was it right for you at this point in your career to take on this opportunity at Stanford?
You know, life is full of many journeys and experiences, and I think that's what we're all looking for, to learn and grow all the time. And, you know, I just feel like after many years in the NFL playing and coaching, when Andrew called and said, would you help us out this year? You know, first I was a little bit hesitant, but then when I came out and I just realized, listen, I've experienced a lot of things in my life in the football world, but I get an opportunity to coach Stanford? I mean, this is a unique place. And I've been there for 3 months, and I've drank the Kool-Aid, and it is different. It is different, and in the best of ways. And the culture there is different. The people, it's really a unique place. But really where, for me, it was about the experience of coaching the student athlete, the Stanford student athlete, you know, guys like that are sitting right over here to my left, that I knew would make me better, make me a better coach, a better person. But the other reason I said yes to Andrew is like, I know I got something to offer. I got something to offer to help Andrew. I got something to offer to help these guys. And so as we come in to kind of kick this new era of football off, you know, we kind of started with, we put up our, you know, here's the standards that we're gonna live by and that we're gonna play by. And we got to all commit to these, and we're gonna put our brand of football out there, and we'll let people see what that's gonna be, and we'll let our talk on the field show what it's going to be. But I'm extremely optimistic about the progress that we're going to make in the 2025 season.
Coach, right side, fifth row, hard to the right.
Hey, Coach. Thomas Christopher from the League Winners here. As an interim coach, how are you balancing short-term goals like winning with planting seeds for Stanford's long-term success? Yeah,
that's a great question, and I think those two can go together, right? I think they always do go together. You know, we do have goals for this season, and they're clear to each one of us what those goals are. But we also understand the way you plant seeds for long-term success is get the process right and get the people right. And like I said, we have the right people. And starting with these guys and some transfers we got in, the other the rest of the team that was there. And now it becomes a question of us together, players and coaches, committing to a process that can be the foundation for long-term success. You know, you got to create a championship culture before you can really win the championships. And so sometimes the results, you see the results right away, and sometimes they lag. And there's no givens, there's no absolutes in this world as far as, you know, you can't be promised that you're going to see those right away. But what makes me feel like we're going to see the results this year is because of the right kind of people who have laid the foundation. How hard these players have worked this offseason, I've seen that, I've watched it, I've seen the progress we've made in the weight room in every way possible off the football field, and then as far as putting in new schemes and preparing for the season in that way in the short time we've had, I've just seen an incredible amount of progress and excited to start competing against some other people.
Coach, to your left, third row, all the way to the left.
Katrina Sacken, Sports and Culture Media. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. Oh, sorry. You mentioned a new era. What does that look like for you as far as Stanford football is concerned, and the connection between you and Andrew Luck? What does that look like for you guys this season?
You know, we have a very similar philosophy and belief. You know, when Andrew and I were together in 2018, I think we had an incredible season together, and we both resonate with, you know, it starts with the process. And these guys will joke and hear you say, and hear about me saying and Andrew saying, hey, it's all about getting 1% better every day, going 1-0 every day. That's the way you build success. It's a commitment to that. It's a combination of confidence and humility. That's what I saw in Andrew Luck that was so special, like this extreme confidence, but also this great humility. That's embarrassing. To know that you can get better every day. You know, to know that you can get better every day, and that's going to be our approach. You know, we're gonna make a lot of progress, and because we're going to put in the right systems, and we got the right people, and we're just going to work hard at getting better all the time.
Coach, right side, literally first question, then the one right behind him, first and second.
Coach Jack Lowe, Cavalier Connection. When you look at some coaching changes around the country in the last few years, you look at last year, Kurt Signetti from JMU to Indiana had one of the most crazy turnarounds for Indiana of all time. Just what does it take to try and have a turnaround like that in a year one for you?
Player leadership. You know, I mean, I think as coaches, you can come in and provide some structure. You can provide some new schemes that can bring a little bit of life and hope to the program. And I think that's really what Andrew and I have been trying to do, you know, is just provide a framework and a culture that can give our team hope. But I think our team knows that this is a player's game, and it's on them to make the plays on the field. So I think that's how it's done, and I think that's what we'll see this year.
Stay on that side. Truly, the gentleman right behind him.
Hey, Coach Reich, Graham Dietz, Boston College Eagles on Sports Illustrated. You know, personally, I see a few similarities between the two programs, Boston College and Stanford, being, you know, great academic institutions, and then having head coaches with NFL experience. Just tell me, how do you kind of harness the academic side of the program while also keeping, you know, the football strong? I know that's something that Bill O'Brien has harped on consistently.
There's no question, and right, I mean, how you do anything is how you do everything, and everything matters. Better man makes a better player. You know, you can only compartmentalize your life so far, and you know, for those who try to say, hey, football is a separate deal, you know, and I have a different approach, it just is short-lived. But you find the players you find the people and the players and the coaches who understand that it's just, there's a certain way of doing things, and whether that's in the academic world or in the athletic realm or at home as a father or husband or brother, whatever the case may be. There are certain principles and standards that you live by in life that help us to win and create a winning culture and really create an opportunity to elevate your own game and elevate other people around you. So that's really what we're trying to do. You know, just build that kind of a mentality, and so excited to get to work doing that.
Coach, left side, gentleman in the white shirt, about the 7th row back in the middle.
Good afternoon, Coach. Colby Dant, College Football Experience. I was wondering, you've been in the NFL since 1985. What were some of the challenges and differences with coming back down to the college level? It's been so long since you've been here, so yeah.
Yeah, great question. Football's football. So on a schematic level, there were no challenges. And obviously at Stanford, we got high quality student athletes who are very physically talented, but also mentally can grasp the things, in the pro style schemes that we're gonna run. But I think the biggest challenge is the amount of time that you get with the athlete. Where in the NFL, you're with these guys all day, every day, and you can stay as long as you want. And in college, there's just a different deal. So you have to really pick and choose, what you want to do and how much you want to put in and how far you can go with certain things. And then it's incumbent upon the players to really take ownership of that. And good news for us, we got the right kind of players to do that. But I think that is the biggest challenge, just the time spent. Because, to be able to sit and talk football 24/7, you put yourself in that environment, you're just going to get better. And so in college, you have to count on the players doing that for themselves and doing that amongst each other. And I believe we got that kind of leadership.
Coach, right side, gentleman in the white hat towards the back.
Hello, Coach. Bruce Marshall, Sports Byline and Armed Forces Radio. Quick question about Stanford. I think more than any program I can think of over the past decades, offensively at least, when Stanford has been rolling, it's really had a distinct identity. Back to Coach Ralston, when he had Plunkett and Bunce and could throw the ball. Coach Christensen did the same thing. Coach Walsh, same thing, very progressive. And then Dennis Green's teams were very physical. Coach Harbaugh's teams, David Shaw's teams, again, that pounding run game, even though Andrew Luck spanned both of them. But there was always a real identity. I think Stanford lost that the last few years. What do you see the identity, at least offensively, that you're trying to reestablish on the farm?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked that question, and it is the question of the most important question, not only offensively, but really as a defense. And I've talked a lot about this with the coaches, and want to make sure that we as a coaching staff, know what the answer to that question is, which we do. However, being a quote-unquote new coaching staff, since I'm new, and there's some question is, well, what's Stanford going to do on offense? Are they going to go back and do what Andrew and Frank did and, back with the Colts, or is it going to be when Frank was with the Eagles, or where? Where's it coming? But I was so late, so I got the same coaches from last year. So there's still a little bit of history to what we're going to do on offense, and honestly, I just want to keep it that way. You know what I mean? Because at least for the first few games of the season, that's a mystery. The truth is we're going to be a hybrid of a bunch of different things, and or at least that's what we want everybody to think. And so, and let people figure it out as we go. And so don't really want to provide too much information there. But you did hit on one keynote that I am willing to talk about, and that is physicality. Because I don't care if you're throwing it or running it, you can't win if you're not physical. And if you don't play with great effort and great intensity. And so, that has to be part of the identity, okay? And then how the rest of it plays out, you'll see as it unfolds. But if it's not physical, then we haven't really achieved what we were shooting for.
Coach, thank you. You can switch spots with Sam. Sam Rouse. We'll spend, 3 or 4 minutes with him. Folks, if you've already asked a question, please re-identify yourselves for our student athletes. And who would like the first question for our tight end? We will go, Sam, first row, right to your left, right in front of you.
Sam, Dan Tortora, Wake Up Call, DT.com, pardon me. To look at the long line of tight ends at Stanford, when you look at Fleener and Hooper, Ertz, and Dalton Schultz and so on and so forth, just what that means to you to carry that tradition and to know of that long line of success that has come not only at Stanford, but also in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. Those are the guys that I look up to. We talk about that consistently within the tight end room, like, Zach Ertz, Austin Hooper, Kobe Fleener, Colby Parkinson, all those dudes. They come back and visit. They give us advice. We get to talk to them. They talk about, how their journey was, what they did in college, how it's different from the pros. And that's kind of a legacy that I want to be able to continue, and I would like to be a part of that. So, those are kind of like the heroes of that story.
Sam, right side, third row.
Kenton Gibbs, Locked On ACC. Sam, your family, your bloodline has a lot of legends in it. Has some Hall of Famers, has a dad that played in the ACC at Duke as well in it. Did that situation where you're coming from a family that has high athletic standards prepare you to be in the tight end room for a place that for a while was considered a tight end U of sorts?
Yes, sir. And I would say that it's still considered a tight end U. But yeah, I mean, I grew up playing pretty much every sport. That wasn't something that my parents forced on me, but they just wanted me to go out there and have fun. Didn't play football until I got to high school, but kind of always knew that was something that I was going to do and be good at. And I'm really appreciative of my parents doing a great job, kind of introducing me to the sport and allowing me to make my own decisions. And I'm glad that it's worked out thus far.
Sam, from the podium, a bit of a devil's advocate question. Being a native of Tennessee, why travel almost the length of the country to attend Stanford?
Yeah, well, something you might not know is I actually lived in San Jose for about 4 years through high school. My uncle played at Stanford. He kind of put that idea in my head, and then the second I got the offer, I kind of decided internally I was going to go there. A month later, I called up the old tight end coach, Coach Turner, and asked if my offer was committable, and he said yes. So that was kind of the end of that story.
Other questions for Sam from the room? Sam, another one here from the podium. What specific skill areas have you focused on during the offseason to be the best you can be this season?
Yes, sir. I'd say two main areas of skill. First, route tops. I think the most important thing that you can do as a route running tight end is separation at the top of your routes. That's something that Zach Ertz does really well. Some of the greats, George Kittle, Sam Laporta, they're excellent at the top. And if you can get that little bit of separation and have that trust with the quarterback, then you can do a lot for the team. Secondly, blocking. That's something that I've always been really passionate about. Coach Byam is extremely passionate about blocking as a tight end. He was very, very good at that. And, I feel like I've been good in the past, but I'd like to continue to build that consistency and resume. So, when Coach Reich's calling the plays, he can count on me getting the job done at the point of attack on a power run scheme or duo or anything.
Other questions for Sam from the room? Sam, seeing none, you can switch spots with Tavarua. We will spend a few minutes with our outside linebacker. Folks, if you would, please identify yourselves and the agency, and we will spend a few minutes with Tavarua. First question. We'll go right side for your first two questions. We'll go third row, then fifth row.
Kenton Gibbs, Locked On ACC. Tavarua, you started off as a special team specialist, as a guy who was one of the leaders on a special teams unit, and you've developed yourself into one of the better linebackers in the ACC. How has that happened, and is that mentality of, that kind of all-out, face-first special teams helped out with being a great linebacker?
Yeah, starting with special teams, I feel like that builds character and that builds a player. I feel like I've always been the underdog, and I feel like coming throughout, I've really digged in and become the player I am today.
Tavarua, right side, again, fifth row.
Hi, Thomas Christopher from the League Winners. Prior to enrolling into Stanford, you said that you wanted to get better as a coverage linebacker or a coverage backer. Now that you're entering your senior season, how do you feel have you accomplished that goal, and is there anything else you're looking to improve on this year?
Yeah, during the off season, I spent a lot of time with Coach April and Coach Joe. We talked about a lot of coverage and different spacings. And one other thing that we worked on a lot was my pass rush moves and just a lot of hands and get-offs and stands.
Tavarua, left side, first row.
Tavarua, Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Bobby April III, just what you can say about working with him and what he's done to really bring out the best in you, what you like about his leadership style and some of the decisions that he makes.
Yeah, he's a very smart guy. He's been in the NFL. His dad's been a special team coach in the NFL too. He brings a lot of knowledge with us. He also brings a lot of connections. He coached people in the NFL. Like one player in mine is Nick Herbig. He was from Hawaii, and he introduced me to him, and I gained a lot of knowledge. So just the connections with him and connecting with other people.
Tavarua still on the left side, about fifth row back, sixth row maybe.
Cam Lemons, Demon Deacon Digest, 24/7 Sports. Everyone likes to make a lot about the departures, whether it's coaches, people who left from the transfer portal, but there's over a dozen guys that came in. What's your role as someone who has been with the team for so long in terms of meshing the old with the new and kind of creating whatever the new kind of brand is for Stanford football now with Coach Reich and Andrew Luck kind of in there?
Yeah, I think my role is just welcoming everybody, welcoming the 17 transfers that we got in, and just the guys that stay, just stay by them throughout the season, and yeah.
Tavarua, from the podium, you described yourself as a longtime underdog. Why have you been an underdog?
I feel like I had to earn my spot. I've been behind people pretty much through college, and I feel like when I'm at best, I'm competing. And
Thank you. Other questions for our linebacker from the floor? Tavarua, you can switch places with Colin, and we will spend a few minutes with our cornerback. Colin Wright will be with us for the next few minutes. Who would like our first question of Colin? Colin will go right side, fifth row, hard right.
Hi, Thomas Christopher from the League Winners. Could you describe the importance of disrupting the timing on receivers on their release and or their stem, and what sort of techniques do you utilize to do so?
Man, first off, I just think a big part of that comes from being physical, just like Coach talked about. As a defensive unit, as a defense, we want to be extremely physical, and that starts up front. That starts with us in the back end. It starts with our linebackers. I think physicality and disrupting timing, obviously for us, helps guys like Teva be able to make plays on the ball, get sacks, get strip sacks, all of that. So I think just being physical is a big part of that, and I think that's something that we've tried to embody as a team, is something that we're going to embody, and can't wait to see it in camp. Can't wait to keep going and make sure all those plays show up on Saturday.
Colin, right side, third row.
Kenton Gibbs, Locked On ACC. Colin, you talked about the beginning of the play and kind of disrupting what guys want to do early in their routes, but you have a unique ability to play the ball, totaling the most interceptions in the season that we've seen at Stanford in the last 5 years. What is it that allows you to be so calm in that moment of truth where a lot of defensive backs panic and, get bad PIs and things like that, as opposed to you who was able to have your career high in pass breakups and interceptions last year?
I think it's something that we do as a unit. Coach Williams, which is my cornerback coach, is a guy that hones in on finishing plays and playing the ball, and I think a lot of that happens in the offseason. Not just with me, a lot of things that we do with our teammates, we kind of have to train like we're receivers. We have to catch the ball just as much as they do. So when the ball's in the air, it's just as much as the receiver's ball, it's my ball as well. So I think that big aspect of being able to finish plays and being able to make plays on the ball is something that changes the game, and those opportunities don't come. So when they do come, we have to take advantage of them. So I think that's something that we do a lot.
Colin, first row, left, right in front of you.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Colin, having Frank Reich as your head coach now and all that NFL experience, everything that he's seen and the knowledge and wisdom gained, how have you been a sponge to that, and what you can say to the team embracing Frank this season?
Man, just what Coach said, being 1% better each day, I think that mindset just helps us so much. Helps us attack things we do on the field, things we do off the field, the way we interact with people on a day-to-day basis. I think a lot of the lessons we've learned from Coach not only has impacts on us as players, but also us as humans, which is one of the best aspects and one of the best things that you can have in a leader is somebody who cares for you outside of what you do. And I think that's something that I've definitely picked up on, and something that a lot of our team has picked up on. And I think that's what value Coach brings, what Andrew brings, just that renewed aspect of expectations that no matter who you are as an athlete, it just means less if you aren't a good person. So I think in that way, it's helped a lot, and all the football stuff will take care of itself.
Colin, head to the camera right in the center and then go to the right, and that's where that gentleman will be with the next question.
Steve, College Football Sunday. With having 3 trips to the East Coast, what are some things that y'all are going to do to get your bodies acclimated to the time change? and the travel?
I think for us, just being smart about it, we have so many resources, different things we use on the plane to keep our body moving, keep our blood flowing. I think we have a great support staff that gives us all those resources. And also for games that we truly do have to travel on the plane for 6 hours, we leave a little day earlier so our bodies can acclimate to wherever we're playing. So I don't think it's too big of a deal. Definitely something that we had to deal with last year, but we have so much support that makes those things easy for us.
Colin, your last question from the podium. You said a little while ago you can't wait to see how the season unfolds, sort of how you said it. And when people say they can't wait, sometimes that's just a casual thing they say. But are you a patient person?
I think I'm a very patient person, but I also love to compete, and I love to compete with groups of guys that also love to compete. And I think a lot of those things that we want to do, all the things that we did to train 9 months out of the year for 12 weeks is an experience like no other. And I mean, when you think about it, we've dreamed of playing at these high stages since we were kids, and we don't take for granted our spot. So can't wait to get ready for the season. Can't wait to go out and ball out with the guys sitting on the left of me, all the guys that are in our locker rooms each day putting the work in, and just so adamant about being successful this year.
Colin, thank you. With that, Stanford, good luck this season.
Thank you. Go Card.
Folks, due up next in the room at 2 o'clock, Los